Hi, it's Wednesday the 24th of March. Feelings of things being out of control can sometimes hit us like waves. It's now a year since our first lockdown, and when we reflect on the 130,000 people who've lost their lives, something's out of control somewhere. And then we see the vigil for Sarah Everard, leading to people being arrested. Then we see on the news the riots against the government bill in Bristol, all out of control. And nobody likes to be personally involved when things are out of control, but human beings, well, we seem to have a natural fascination with such things. In the 1970s, filmmakers began to cash in on people's fascination with tragic circumstances, and there were disaster movies that were real box office hits. Films like Airport, where it was all going wrong, Earthquake, self-explanatory. But a favourite of mine was Towering Inferno. I like that because it's about fire. And as you know, well, it's not that long since I was annoying one of my neighbours with my fire. Well, last weekend I decided to have a fire, but in a different part of the garden, a more overgrown part of the garden. Things were particularly dry, and what started off as a small fire and pretty much in control, very soon got out of control. And I was panicking because it was spreading through the dry leaves, and the trees up above, the leaves were starting to singe. And I thought, oh, do I need to have the fire services? Anyway, I decided to shout for my wife. So I said, Jill, can you come and help me? This fire's getting out of control. It wasn't quite Towering Inferno, but it certainly had me going. Anyway, eventually she came, not quite quick enough. So I was shouting, Jill, come on, hurry up, where are you? She didn't didn't feel the panic that was rushing through my body. Anyway, eventually she came. I was told off for saying she wasn't quick enough, and we did manage to get the fire under control. Today in church we had a tremendous reading from the book of Daniel, and it was the reading about King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar, who was a tyrant, wanted people to do as he said, and he'd had a golden idol constructed. And he passed this law. He said everyone must worship this idol when the music plays. And there were three people who were very faithful to God, who refused to do that because they would worship only the one true living God, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. And so the king had them thrown into a furnace, not an ordinary furnace, but a furnace that was 7 times hotter than normal. But they didn't burn, they weren't destroyed. They said, look, our God will save us. And God did save them. And he could see in the furnace there were the 3 people, but there was also a 4th figure, and that was an angel who had come to protect them. And that teaches us something very important, because what happened was when Nebuchadnezzar saw the 4 figures in the furnace and not the 3 put in, he realized that God, the God of Israel, the God of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, had come to save them. And it's comforting for us to know that whatever inferno of confusion we may have to endure, God is there with us. And secondly, Nebuchadnezzar was so amazed at what he'd seen that he declared to his kingdom, no other God can save this way. It was very true. As we draw close to Easter, we'll begin again to marvel at the way in which God sent his Son into the world to save us, all of us. He is a God like no other. And not only were Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego saved, but the king also decreed that they should be free to worship God whenever they wanted, and that no one should harm them. And a reminder that no matter how bad we may think someone is, nobody is so bad that God can't forgive them and can't change them. So as we continue to deal with whatever's thrown at us day to day. Let's continue to give to God those situations in our lives that we feel are out of control, safe in the knowledge that He is right inside the situation with us, that He will save us. Remember, with our God, nothing is impossible.